Experience! Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by Underdog. If you want tickets to see me, Rob, Cam, Jeff, CUST, Garion, and friends all live doing a live version of CUST Corner, well, today is your lucky day. Hit the description. Tickets are on sale now for the June 7th live show in Toronto. Even if you got to fly in, you're coming to Canada from the States. Your money's worth billions of dollars. You may as well check it out. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it's the best way ever to come support the show and join the hangout with all of us, all right? Today is the 52nd version of CUST Corner?
CUST Corner, it's CUST Corner. CUST Corner, it's CUST Corner. He's got the hottest takes with the highest stakes. He should be president of the United States, but it's CUST Corner, it's CUST Corner. CUST Corner,
Jeff, I want you to start on this one, because we might have to do a GoFundMe for someone. So hit it with the story. Actually, Tim, do you want to start your end of the story first?
No, Jeff can tell the story. That's fine.
Well, I'll start the story, and then I will hand it off to Tim, and then I'll probably come in and with the leg drop, right?
Yeah.
So I'm standing there on 16 hole on Saturday. I've sort of found an elevated spot, can see 17 green, 16 green. Nice little spot, see some of the matches come through. And as anyone who watched our recap show, I like the little alone times. Sometimes you get to the course. Like I found my alone time from the frat house, like at the course. So I wasn't afraid to go wander alone. No secrets. Run into Tim. He's walking like a peacock. He's walking like a peacock when he finds me. He had just met someone. It was a lovely interaction, but this person had spotted Tim and said, "Oh, it's you." And don't get me wrong, I spotted a lot of great people at the course this week.
Many great people.
Yeah, like truly. And I think it'd be pretty rare if you caught like a bunch of us together. So I'm sure like when people saw me alone, it was like opening a pack of cards and getting like the shitty card. But when you saw like, if you opened your pack of cards and you saw like Tim wandering, you might have been like very happy. Nonetheless, everyone we met was great. Tim was happy. He just had a lovely interaction. Why don't you tell people about your interaction, Tim?
Just that this person came up to me and said that they were happy to meet me and shook him warmly by the hand and asked where he was from and they mentioned what he did for work and wished him the best of luck and said thank you for being a fan and then moved on my way. It was a very lovely interaction.
What did he tell you about the length of shows?
He said that he loves them as long as possible due to the nature of his work, which is someone who does courier work, that the long shows are phenomenal for his work. And I said, and here I am trying to shorten shows actively every single week.
Then Jeff.
So Sunday morning, wake up, a little bit of a later morning, another fun Saturday in Montreal. And I get a DM and I am like truly rattled. Like this DM shook me. It shook me. From the person that Tim met. I should have made a better effort to meet up with you guys at the course yesterday, but I was with my dad and didn't want to get separated from family. Ran into Tim and shook his hand, though which was the highlight of my day. He's such an awesome and genuine guy. After the last putt, we waited 3 hours to shuttle back to the parking lot I parked at and found my car was missing and stolen. So I'm on my way to the police station now. This is the worst case scenario for me, as I'm a courier who relies on my vehicle to make money. Always believed in the curse, and I'm a firm believer in Tim's powers. Feel free to use this as ammo or content for the great show. Love all you guys and hope the show show's around for a very long time. Enjoy your day at the course. Hope the Ints pull it off. So yeah, that really rattled me. I wished him all the best. Today I tried to follow up with Stefan.
Yeah, what we're gonna do, like Stefan, give Jeff an update and let him know what's going on with it. Because if not, we have a big community here at the Pat Mayo Experience and Mayo Media Network, and if your life has been affected by the Ander curse, there's a class action lawsuit that you can probably call and get like Pressler Law or Jim the Hammer Shapiro on your side, or we can like help you out on this one because we don't want any viewers of the show struggling because of the Ander curse, especially after you met Tim and he was so nice to you. I think that's the thing, Jeff, and that's why Tim Butts skates away with it, and even me. There's the more vitriol Tim has towards you, the less that the Ander curse works on you. Like, how fast, I mean, Paul and Jared, you guys can chime in on this. How fast did the Ander curse get Maggie Smith on the weekend? 4 hours?
Longer than that. It's like the day before I had mentioned her as a big name actress. And then the next day she happened to pass away.
You said that she could fill in for Matlock.
I did say that, yeah. And
then you
can I
said,
just say I feel so bad for Stefan. He was such a nice person. We had such a nice interaction. I'm so sorry that happened. I mean, I take no responsibility. It's not my fault, but I certainly feel terrible for him, and I hope that everything goes well. And I hope this show is an adequate length, and that the future shows are adequate length.
I think you owe him like a marathon fundraiser.
yeah, we say that we could raise money by doing all the things that you could do over time and getting people to bid on it. Like, how much to see Tim do a cartwheel on a live stream? We probably raise like 10 grand.
Like, or honestly, just do like a one like primetime watch along. You know, if you you can make list suggestions or something for Tim, or I don't know, maybe people have to pay for lists. There's a lot of ways I think Tim can fundraise, because like it really seems like you got this guy good. Can you imagine?
No. I didn't. All I did was shake somebody's hand. Don't
you
blame
imagine
me for the
being
horrible
from
outcome. Don't blame me for this.
Tim,
I didn't do
he had
anything.
his car stolen in out of town. It's one thing if your car's stolen like where you're from, and
I'm
like a
deeply
friend
sympathetic. I feel terrible
or a
that that
family
happened.
member can come get you. What the Montreal police probably looked at him like, sorry, man, there ain't shit we can do. You're on your own. He's not even in the town he's from.
Why are you yelling at me? I understand how awful this is. I feel terrible for him, but it's not my fault.
No, it's genuinely worst case scenario, and it might have been a part your fault.
No, it's not. It's 0% my fault. 0%. All I did was shake somebody's hand and wish them the best and have a very friendly, kind interaction with a fan, which, as he mentions in your DM, was a very lovely interaction.
Until
that is completely separate and apart. That is complete coincidence.
Until his livelihood got stripped from him. I often wonder if the Ander curse would like cease to exist if Tim just took ownership for what he does to people.
Well, I take no responsibility.
Who's the 98-year-old person that he mentioned?
Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke. So he's on watch now because that's it. I told Tim he's not allowed to talk about anybody over the age of 70. Like, that's just reckless behavior after his history.
Well, we want hopefully insurance came through. Stefan was able to get himself a car in the meantime, and that insurance is going to replace all of that for him. He didn't miss a beat, but if you did, reach out to Jeff because we want to help you out if not, if that's the case, because we said we don't want to see, and leaving Tim aside in all honesty with this, is that, we don't want to see anyone struggle out there, especially with like a crappy event like that, especially after meeting us at the course too. Like, of course we want to help you out after this. The other thing though, Jeff, you had already left because you packed up and got out at like 3 a.m. on Monday morning?
Oh, we're not going to litigate this, are we?
5 a.m. What happened?
Oh, God. Okay, let's litigate it then.
So I'll throw out the scenario to Jeff. And Jeff, so Tim was in a room with 2 other people. You remember that?
And one of them is my personal fact checker. It should be mentioned.
And the other one is like the world's nicest guy, Mike. Shout out Mike, who brought all the
Very
equipment up, set it all up,
nice.
and got some amazing shots at the course. We'll be releasing those very, very soon. So Tim's in a room with these guys. So Tim sets his alarm for 7:20, and everyone's asleep. And then the alarm goes off in the room. And what does Tim do? He decides to get up and just turn off the alarm and go back to sleep. But do you know what happened during the course of that alarm, Jeff?
You woke up other people?
Yeah, he woke up Butts, who was trying to sleep. And Tim just went back to bed like nothing happened. And Butts was pissed.
Oh, yeah. When I woke up, he came right aboard me. And I was like, look, I set the alarm because I was planning to maybe get up at 7:20. I thought I might go for a walk, I might do my packing, I might clean, you get a shower, stuff like that. I was thinking, I might be optimistic enough that I might want to be productive. But when that alarm went off, I was like, no, I have the energy for nothing, and I turned it off.
That's a pretty selfish thing to do, like considering it wasn't even for catching a flight.
Yeah.
With
that
other
was,
people
that
in
was
your
the
room.
consensus, but Tim refused to apologize.
I did apologize. I apologized that I didn't get up when the alarm went off. I apologized. I should have got up and should have, because if I had gotten up and gone about my day the way I described, there would have been no criticism.
A little bit still criticism.
Yeah, of course.
I don't think so.
Because
I think I would have been.
you have an Apple Watch just like me. You were the one who recommended it to me. You can set an alarm on your watch that will just vibrate and wake you up rather than blast an alarm in a room full of other people and then not even fucking get up.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't, like, it's not like you had an exam or a flight. Like,
it didn't occur to me it was the problem.
Well, it should. That was the whole point of the argument, that it should occur to you that it's a problem. And what he wanted from an apology was an apology for waking him up, not an apology that you didn't get up.
Well, I mean, you know what? Next time that we share a room, I will get his permission before I set an alarm. I'll run it by him next time. I didn't think setting an alarm would be the big deal. I've heard other people's alarms in my life and then just gone right back to sleep. Like, okay, fair enough. I should have thought about the fact that there were other people in the room.
It's hard. No, because me and Butts were having a conversation about it earlier in the trip. Like, I kind of like this week, like when I woke up, I was up. Like, I had a hard time. Like, you're just not in your own bed. It's just, yeah, and you're not like alone in a hotel room either. So like when I woke up, I felt like I just like almost got up for the day. Like, it wasn't easy to fall back asleep.
If I could go back in time, I wouldn't set the alarm.
I mean, you should have just posted up in the car. Because, I mean, no better place for you to sleep than in the car every day.
So what did you do? You just went back to bed?
So I turned off the alarm when I heard it, and I rolled over and went back to sleep.
And then when did Butts confront you?
When I woke up.
Butts gave you the courtesy of letting you go back to sleep, only to accost you the moment you woke up. Because he was in the living room pissed. and just think about what he said. That Tim's idea of setting the alarm this early, Jeff, was to get up and go for a walk, which just fucking wasn't happening ever. And then 2, he was going to pack in the room full of people who were asleep.
I would have been very quiet.
Everyone else packed the night before.
But I didn't want to.
It's true.
It's very
he packed.
Well, I wasn't making a 5 a.m. dash to the door like Jeff to leave. I didn't pack the night before.
Hey,
listen.
I was packed. Butts was packed. Even Kenny was packed.
I would have been quiet. You wouldn't have heard me pack.
Okay, you say that,
That's
but
impossible.
hold on. No, hold on. He says we wouldn't hear him pack, yet when he was packing, we could hear him from the other room going, fuck, it won't close.
Don't know that I was using any profanity, but I was upset.
Paul, can you please chime in on that?
He was swearing.
Thank you.
Well, I apologize. I should not have used any sort of foul language.
It wasn't the foul language that we thought was the problem. It was you yelling at it that was the problem.
So, look, I apologize for all my shortcomings.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. That's the thing. You didn't apologize.
I should have gotten up.
That's why he wouldn't.
I agree. I shouldn't have got.
This is why he didn't accept your apology.
And had I gotten up, there would have been no problems.
I mean, there still would have been a problem. You still didn't have to set off an alarm in the middle of people who were trying to sleep just because you maybe wanted to get up. Even if you wanted to get up and did get up, there were so many easier ways to set that alarm that only you would be able to hear it.
Well, if I could go back and do it differently, I would do it differently. So I am sorry. I should not have done that. I regret it. I apologize, and I won't do it again. I have learned my lesson from this.
Did you know that Jeff said he had an easier time going to sleep because he had bunk bed experience from camp when he was younger?
He did say that his bunk bed experience
led
him to be a very effective
that's
bunk
not
bed
what
sleeper.
I said.
I
That's not what I said.
I thought that is what you said.
And
I said
I
have bunk.
Couldn't do that.
Nothing about going to sleep. I just said I had bunk bed experience, but I don't even want to. I mean, never mind.
There was one point we were standing at the top of the grandstands, and Tim told Butts and I that he could survive the fall from the top of the grandstands to the bottom, yet he was afraid of going on the top bunk.
Terrified.
How does that make any sense?
I would roll off the top bunk onto the floor. I know I would.
That would be 6 feet, not 40 feet on the other drop.
Yeah, but like I wouldn't be ready.
The problem with the bunk beds was that when you're on the lower bunk, you couldn't even like sit up. Like the gap between the lower bunk and the top bunk
was very small.
Was very small. Yeah.
And since most people didn't hear it, Tim, and because most people don't watch versus this show and the Sunday night recap or the travelogue show that we put out, all on Mayo Media Network right now. Some of the channel and subscribe while you're here. Can you recount what happened at the tasting menu, which you were very terrified going into, and you won the night with the tasting menu?
I tried every single dish that was offered. I went into it with a open mind and a good spirit. And I happen to enjoy, to differing degrees, some things a lot, some things just a little, everything that I was offered. And it made it a very pleasant culinary experience. I didn't sit there with my arms folded, pouting, and wondering where my dino nuggets were. I simply put my shoulder to the wheel, and I ate everything that I was fed, rather than act that I just couldn't. Yes, I have a phobia for new foods too. I don't particularly, I haven't ran out and bought a bunch of sea snails since we ate that sea snail ragu. I probably will never eat it again in my life. But I'll tell you what, in that instance, in that moment, I decided that it was time for me to try it, and it was a good experience. And that's why, I'm the U.S. team and Geoff is the international team when it comes to votes going into the election.
This is such bullshit.
Did I lie? Did anything I just say not true?
I would like to just combat this in a way that is just true and authentic to myself. To all you guys, to Kenny, I didn't do it. I didn't do enough, when there were so many things that I actually did eat that night, but there's certain things I just won't eat.
Well, edibles don't count.
What?
I said edibles don't count.
No, I don't do edibles.
Oh, that's right. That was Kevin. They hit him on the show when we were live, and he couldn't talk.
Yeah, and I'm sure they hit him at the restaurant. But to my friends that aren't part of the internet and people who I know in my real life, I actually ate way more than they would have thought. I wouldn't go to a tasting menu with you guys. I said I'm going for the vibes. I'm going for the camaraderie. This is Kenny's thing. He's obsessed with it. Could have gone to all kinds of different restaurants where you have menus and people just get to pick what they want to order. But we went to a tasting menu, and I ate a lot of things. Some of them I really like. There's other things I'm not going to try. I don't know. So to people who don't really know me, I disappointed. To people who do know me, I actually did go outside my comfort zone and try things that I never would have tried with them. So it's the eye of the beholder, I guess.
Well, what we've determined with all of this, whether it was the traveling, although Tim says he's very happy to get home, and I'm sure he's correct. I was very happy to get home by the end of it too. I think that everyone was after the week. But Tim's anxiety about going to the tasting menu, how he's terrified of all this stuff, it's all just in his head. When he gets there, he's absolutely fine.
Yeah, I agree. Tim isn't a picky eater.
At all. He likes everything.
And I would argue what happened at the tasting menu of everyone at that table, of Tim and I'd say Pat knows us each the best. Obviously, you know Tim much better than I, but I would argue to you, who knows both of us the best, it actually probably went exactly as you expected.
Yes.
There's certain things I tried and didn't like. There's certain things that I just wouldn't try. And then you give me the venison or tuna on a stick, and I'll eat the whole fucking thing. Seafood ragu, beautiful. Beautiful.
The tuna on a stick, Tim, was excellent.
Yeah, so but like I'm not
delicious.
trying like gelatined cucumber or popcorn or corn mousse. No, I actually did try that. And I didn't like it. And that's fine.
And it's all
But,
if you follow Kendo VT on Twitter, he has all of the videos of the live tasting menu up there if you want to go see them. But when we walked out the door of the tasting menu, Tim, tell us what you told us.
I think that they should have tasting menus everywhere to the point where I'd love to see like there'd be fast food tasting menus. What a great idea that would be.
Like, just get all the kids' menus. You get a hamburger, you get chicken nuggets, you get all of like. What do you?
No,
need?
like this needs to be developed perhaps in a different corner with more detail. But like,
well, maybe that's what you
I
do.
like
Maybe on next week's.
Hold on a second
corner.
though, because I have done, Tim. I have actually done tasting menus that are far less fancy. They're more just fancier versions of like American like bar foods, and they would cauliflower or like popcorn out chicken wings. So
yeah, so this is not what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of like, oh, here's a section of a Whopper.
Fuck off.
No, I think you should do that. Come up with 5 separate fast food places, and you can design your tasting menu for each of them, Tim.
I think there we go. We have next week's corner.
And how much would it cost? $24.99?
Maybe.
I'd have to think about it.
Like, here's a square of a Filet-O-Fish.
Yeah. And Tim, you can pick the sauces from the restaurants that go with it as the pairing.
And the sodas that pair with it.
There you go.
Oh my god.
Maybe do 3 of them, because it sounds like it's going to take an awful lot of time.
Yeah.
The other thing is, Tim, how do people travel without lounges?
I'm telling you, you really should go to a lounge when you're traveling in airports. It makes it so much more enjoyable. When you have it's quieter, there's all kinds of food you can eat and drinks you can have. I strongly believe that if you're going to travel, you should try to access a lounge.
Can I make a comment about this?
Sure.
And Pat might agree or disagree. Kind of think lounges have become almost too mainstream, like anyone can get into them.
I agree with you on the access.
Like, I actually want a lounge,
but it's not like I don't want to go there at the same time. Like we kicked up for like 2 hours before our flight. Nice like lean back leather chair. Like what else am I gonna do? Like walk around and sit at TGI Fridays? No thanks.
Oh, I agree, but I just mean like lounges actually used to be like better and even more exclusive, like the washrooms for the media, Tim.
Exactly. Okay.
The last thing I wanted to bring up, Tim, and this one's about Geoff.
Uh-oh. Whatever. Let's go.
We got some criticism about the people. You drove with me every day because you fell asleep in the car every single day. But there was some criticism from others about Geoff's driving and where he was going, wasn't there?
There was questions as to whether he was able to navigate using the signs. There was questions as to whether he was too dedicated to Waze rather than Google Maps. Despite his claim that every drive was a perfect drive, others seem a little less certain of its perfection. Now, I didn't drive with Geoff. The only time I saw Geoff driving is when he ran into a curb trying to perform a U-turn. That's my only frame of reference for Geoff's driving for the week. So I'm not a good judge.
Okay, and let's be fair. The first couple days in a foreign town with foreign language on the signs, not a clue where I'm going. By like the middle of it, Tim Butts came in the car, and at the end, it's like he gave you.
So he's your fact checker now too. He's not just my fact checker.
Yeah. So what did he say?
Checker.
What did he tell you? My score was for his day.
I believe he gave you a 9.
Take it. Done. Go ask Baxter. You'll get another one. So I apologize for the dudes. Like Kenny sat shotgun for 6 fucking rides to and from the course. That's called service.
He told you about the green sign. Follow the green one, Geoff.
Yeah, there's multiple green signs. He's yelling me the green sign. I just want to make sure I'm going to go under the proper green sign. And he like boycotts Waze. So he doesn't even know how to read where it says what the sign says I need to go under. That's all.
Geoff made a point earlier about how I know you two better than anyone else on the trip, which is true. I guess Butts and I know you, Tim, just about as well as each other.
Yeah.
But when it comes to both of you, I I'm really the only one on the trip who saw Geoff on a regular basis for multiple years in person and actually hung out with him and know what he's like. Can you describe what it was like being up early with Geoff on the first date when he was trying to figure out directions?
There was a lot of anxieties about exits 50 versus exit 52. There was a lot of anxiety about which one to take, which one was better than the other.
One thing,
See,
and the official President's Cup media access is saying another. So you're in a different town, and I'll go when I'm out of town and I don't know where I'm going. I want to be able to rely on Waze, but it's like, fuck, they just sent out this notice, so you want to trust them. But I was also up really early on that first day. Cleared off all the was up early enough to like clear all the table counters and everything from it. So I don't know. Yeah, I was up early. And I had no fucking clue where I'm going. And Waze was saying different than the lady. And in 2024, it's like you rely on these technologies. You forget back in the day, like when we started driving, Pat, you would just go by like the MapQuest and you just print it the fuck out. Or bring it with you.
Or do what I used to do and write it down because we didn't have a printer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or you'd write it down and hope you got it right. So we come a long way. Almost too reliant on the ways, which also, would tell us to go ways that were shorter, but streets were blocked. So it caused some problems.
Yeah. We figured it out by the end. All right. So next week we'll do a tasting menu with Tim and maybe we can get some suggestions from the people as well. Like, are there places you want to see Tim cover? Are there special menu items that you would want for a fast food tasting menu?
Because they have to be places I can access. If it's somewhere in the States that we don't have, I'm not interested.
Listen, maybe people want to create their own for Zaxby's or something like that. Tim's not going to have access to that. But if you want to create your own and tell us about it, then maybe we can give a shout out to those ones as well. But over the past year, you have now said that every fast food restaurant should have a tasting menu and a buffet option.
I stand by both of those statements.
It's going to be tough for these places to make money.
No, they'll do fine. It'll increase customers. I think I deserve a lot of credit for being a week into this season, the happiest season of the year for a lot of people, and abstaining completely from playing. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. I don't even have to mention the game for people to know what I'm talking about. I've gone an entire week, and I'd like to know where my credit is.
Well, people are just calling you a fucking quitter.
Thank you. This is what I'm talking about. I think I deserve some credit.
All right, what do you deserve credit for? Not eating gross food all the time?
It's not that I'm not eating food. It's just that I'm not eating there.
You said that you couldn't go through the McDonald's drive-thru to get coffee because it would entice you to buy other things on the menu.
Yes, it would.
That's insane.
Plus, I have the stickers.
You
and
went
to
to Dairy Queen
app.
today and got ice cream and chicken tenders.
Yeah, so what's the fucking difference? Like, if you were doing it for health reasons, because
hold on, but that is health though. Those are all white meat. That's protein. That is much better for you than like a fried hamburger. Please, don't even start with me on that.
You think that deep fried
those
chicken
are all
tenders,
white meat chicken tenders?
You think that
all
deep fried chicken tenders are good for you?
No, what I'm saying is they're full of protein. They're full of things that are really good for you.
It's a tender's basket with fries, and he gets a soda, and he gets a dessert sundae, but he's calling it healthy.
That's actually worse for you than getting a burger at McDonald's. You realize that?
No. Well, I mean, if you add the sundae on and all that stuff.
No,
sure,
you take
the chicken tenders themselves.
The chicken tenders
pure
are
white meat protein.
They're
always saying they're dipped more protein and eat less carbohydrates.
What you've done is eat more carbohydrates than a fucking hamburger, you moron. They're dipped.
No,
they're coated in batter and deep fried. What do you think the batter is?
Sure, but there's
sure.
White meat.
No. Bet you it's almost like double the amount of calories.
No way.
What sauce do you get?
Then a hamburger,
I get the sweet and sour.
So that's.
Yeah. I don't get a hamburger at this time of year. I would be getting something to get stickers on.
They don't have a hamburger. Like maybe you just get a
not
hamburger.
on the hamburgers. No, no, I can't.
But you can go to Dairy Queen instead, and claim that you're eating healthy and getting
healthier.
It's not healthier though.
Healthier.
We just went through this.
Well, the Sunday doesn't help. I agree with Geoff on that.
Oh,
But you don't
thanks.
agree with me when I just spelled it out for you about the chicken tenders?
Well, just the chicken tenders are pure white meat protein.
Then why don't you get nuggets at McDonald's, which have less batter on them and are probably, according to you, much healthier?
Well, they probably are.
Paul, yes, you can chime in.
I quickly looked up the calories in like a Big Mac meal versus a chicken strip basket from Dairy Queen, and they were both around like 1,100 calories.
Jesus Christ.
For the meal.
Thank you.
And then
Thank
you add
you.
in ice cream, you're looking like I
Probably
imagine there was a
20,
2,000 calorie meal that you
Oh,
had
ice
earlier
cream's probably
today.
1,000 on its own.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, so Tim
Yeah.
is eating more in his one meal at Dairy Queen calorie-wise than I eat during the course of the day, and I'm still getting like 5 times as much protein.
Hey, listen, I'm not going to knock the guy for going to Dairy Queen, but
But
you
he won't-
were doing everything in your power today to try to tempt me
oh,
into
if
going to
you didn't
McDonald's.
listen, you had 2 more minutes before I was going to call you Kamala. Stop dodging my question.
And you know, I'm not going to lie. I thought about it. I definitely thought about it. I'm not going to pretend like I didn't think about how amazing like a quarter pounder would have been at that moment with their fries extra large because you got to get the
Yeah.
stickers and like
Listen,
one of those like beautiful DCs that they comes on tap, but like you just can't beat.
Dairy Queen's Pepsi products.
I know. Frustrates me to no end. Like I was also considering going to KFC today too instead, but like that's also Pepsi products is the thing.
Okay,
So-
I would've got the
hold-
popcorn.
hold-
I
hold
would have
on.
got the popcorn chicken, which
So-
is also better protein.
So I'm on this right now. So the basket that you got with the white meat chicken, the meal itself has 80 grams of carbohydrates in it. A junior chicken meal, if you get the fries and the junior chicken from McDonald's, has 50 grams of carbohydrates in it.
Okay, but I wouldn't get a junior chicken.
Get
What-
no-
what- we
no
had to get pure
stickers
white
on a
meat.
junior chicken.
A McChicken.
Yeah, but
I
he's
can
not.
give
But,
that
but,
to get
but, but he's
stickers.
not getting stickers, Jeff. So what? Like, if he's abstaining from Monopoly as it is, isn't he just open to order anything on the menu?
Okay, but Tim,
If he's
here's the
actively
thing
going
about
to a
the
different
credit.
place to get chicken, and he won't go to one place because it doesn't have stickers and it's chicken, I don't quite understand that. It sounded like
Yeah,
he
no,
just,
his
it sounded
game
like he wanted to
theory here
fucking.
is-
It sounded like he wanted a Sunday.
his game theory here is flawed, but he wants credits. What's Pat supposed to do? Like, no offense, Tim, but I don't know how it works. But if you go to like Alcoholics Anonymous and you stay sober, like for a week, do you get the poker chip yet? Like, do you want Pat to hand you a poker chip next time you come over for abstaining? Like, what do you want? I think there's some credit here because you've shown willpower.
No, but what?
But I also think
but
going to
what's
Montreal-
Thank you.
what's the willpower? There is no willpower. What was the point of not playing?
No, like
I
not
wanna-
having 2-a-days.
Like, what is the point of not playing Monopoly if you're just going to fast food anyway? Just a different restaurant.
Okay, but see, I think the trip to Montreal really fucked up his equilibrium because what Tim would have done the week before Monopoly, as he says often, Pat, is he goes on
I
a
couldn't do my
tour.
farewell
He goes
tour.
on a farewell tour of all the fast places that he won't be going to, and he lost that opportunity. And like tomorrow, he's probably going to Burger King for Whopper Wednesday.
It's Whopper Wednesday. I wanted one last Whopper Wednesday to say goodbye. I didn't get my Whopper Wednesday.
So
And then he
did you want to receive credit right now? So when you're done this tour, you're just going to start playing Monopoly?
I feel like I'd let people down if we came on here next week and I told them where I was in Monopoly.
That you're
I feel like I'd let people down.
that you're way behind the 8 ball in terms of winning. Look at this. Look at these.
What
that
are
whole-
they?
What's that?
Stickers, it looks like.
Oh,
It's a lot of stickers.
Look at all these.
Those hole in
Look at
your
all those.
hole in one analogy that you made on Sunday,
Look at all those
was
stickers, Tim.
Pat. Your hole in one
Those
analogy.
are just from coffee.
crazy. The hole in one analogy from Sunday was spot on. Like Tim playing but wanting to save face from the internet so he can't admit to his like big win.
Exactly. I would likely win the
But
Equinox.
I think your credit is actually so fucking soft, in the sense that, like, if you had a buddy that was trying to, like, anyone, like a diet or trying to quit a substance, like, congrats, you made it a fucking week for not going to McDonald's.
Yeah, this is like,
Like, at
this is
the
like
end,
when I,
maybe
this is,
you
what-
get
like
the
this is
credit.
when I tell my wife I quit smoking. It's been like 5 days. She's like, sure thing, pal.
Yeah, and like you want credit, like because not going for 5 days smoking is an achievement to you, but you have to like, I don't know, a week isn't enough time, I think, to be like, give me credit.
But
Because everyone still
that's,
thinks you're gonna break.
But that's also not the thing, though. If I was just like, yeah, I'm not smoking cigarettes anymore. I'm like injecting heroin instead to replace it, or something the equivalent or worse. That's what Tim's doing with McDonald's. He's just not going to McDonald's. He's just eating a ton more fast food.
Yeah, Dairy Queen today, Burger King tomorrow.
So what I don't understand is what is the point of not going to McDonald's and doing something you enjoy then?
And like Wendy's has got the single on for $4 right now. Like there's all these like deals that come out during Monopoly at the competitors that I've never been able to use before, or like never been able to like
and
try
McDonald's
before.
never has coupons during.
Oh,
Monopoly.
I look at the app just to see what the coops look like, and there's nothing there.
Yeah,
and
no,
the things
you're
that
not
are
getting a coupon
advertised
for stickers.
No, well, this is it. And the stuff that's advertised, like the McGriddle, which you can't get a sticker for. It's like, of course. Like, of course not.
So
I don't know what else to say.
So when are you gonna go?
Look, I'm not going to promise perfection, but I'd really like to try not to go. Like it. The thing is, I miss it. I will say that. I will say I really miss it. Like some people say, oh, I don't do something, and I don't even notice. I don't even miss doing that. I really miss it. I think about it all the time. I really do. How long it's gonna last? I really miss it.
Jared was
McDonald's is in your face a lot. They have a hard advertising campaign.
They're on all the billboards as I drive around. Like
baseball
they're on,
playoffs, football
This is it,
games,
right?
heavy
Like-
McDonald's commercial inventory. So it's hard to avoid, Tim. It's hard.
You can't avoid it, and like, I just miss it.
Why are you depraving?
Yeah,
Like, that is a
I'm
good
trying
point.
to be healthy here.
But you're going to fucking eat fast food every day somewhere else.
No,
What the
but
fuck
I'm
is the
not going for
difference?
instead of going for like heavy fried beef. I'm going for like pure white meat stuff.
No,
You're
going to
eating
Whopper
deep
Wednesday
fried
tomorrow.
fucking chicken fingers. What's wrong with you?
I mean, like, I thought I was making a better choice.
I just told you you weren't.
Okay, well, but
I don't know
That's
how.
already
I don't
in the
know
past.
how in your fucking warped mind that you think that was a healthier choice.
well, because it's all white meat, and I thought the better the protein, the more protein, the better.
You think that beef doesn't have protein in it?
Well, it does, but not as much as the chicken strip.
Are
basket.
you sure it doesn't?
I mean, I don't.
No,
The way you say that makes me think no, but in my mind, I thought yes.
Why? Okay, if you really wanted to get extra protein, why didn't you go buy some skinless chicken breast and make it in your air fryer that I gave you?
I'm going to make some skinless.
No,
chicken
but you
breast.
didn't. You went to fucking Dairy Queen to buy deep fried chicken.
Well, I had to celebrate.
Celebrate what?
Celebrate Salah being fired and my season being saved and a chance at the Super Bowl.
He earned himself a reward, a treat.
I felt like the situation called for some, and I couldn't have any cake because we ate it all on the show. So
Yeah, we
like,
actually did. We threw out the rest of the cake.
that's understandable. Like the situation warranted for a celebration. What do you want me to do?
When I said eat more protein, I didn't mean deep fried protein.
Well, you didn't specify. You said more protein. So I thought of these chicken strips. Like I see them advertised. Also see those advertised a lot on TV. I've been seeing them a lot recently. Been thinking about them as well. I was like, well, this seems like a perfect like substitution to what I would usually be doing.
You also just said you're going to Wendy's tomorrow for a burger, by the way.
I didn't say I was going
Burger
to.
King.
A burger, yeah,
it-
you're going to get a Whopper.
Maybe. I
You
do
are.
enjoy Whopper Wednesday.
You are
I do
going.
enjoy that.
And you're going to go get this Wendy's burger, too, because it's on sale.
Well, it's on for $4 right now, the Dave single, which is a pretty good price.
But you can't eat the one at McDonald's because you had chicken fingers today and you ate your very healthy deep fried chicken tenders.
I'm probably going to have chicken again this evening because I've got chicken breasts to put in my air fryer.
Yummy.
You told me
With
before
some
that when I tried
chicken bake?
when I tried to like map out an eating schedule for you, that you said it wouldn't work because you don't like eating the same things over and over, and now you're doing
No,
that.
but I already bought the chicken breast a couple of days ago.
Then why
So
did
I
you
need
go
to
and
cook
get
them.
chicken today then? If you knew you were going to make that
Because
tonight?
I don't know. I just thought about it and I was hungry and I just wanted them. Okay. And then, like, I forgot
He
there was a
had to
Sunday
go
I
eat
could have.
lunch. He
And
had
then,
to
like,
eat lunch
then Jeff mentioned the
quickly.
Sunday, and then I got excited, and like,
He had to just go eat lunch quickly, or he could have ended up at McDonald's.
like a sausage and egg McMuffin from McDonald's would be so good.
We had a few of those because people used to make the McDonald's run during our trip when
Yes.
we were away last week. Like, I don't know, I'm just big on picking the sausage out of it and just eating the sausage. That's
It's the first time on the trip. It's the first time I've had a classic egg McMuffin in years. I never order those.
Is that the
Ones
one
with the ham or the Canadian bacon?
Yeah.
I never ordered.
Don't like
I hit
those.
I hit the hash brown bag, but just like I didn't think I'd wanted one of those before a long day at the golf course. So actually, like,
Yeah,
So,
no, I enjoyed them.
That's why I passed on. I mean, I didn't have any of the hash browns. I just took the bread off, so ate like the cheese and the sausage. You know, that's the protein you want to get, Tim. If you're gonna make
So you're saying don't eat the fries, just eat the chicken strips.
wait, but the chicken strips are covered in fucking batter.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that if you get the sausage McMuffin, if you want to avoid the carbs, don't eat the bun. Or you can pick all the batter off of the chicken, but you won't do that because the only reason you've ordered it.
That's way too much work.
It's not way too much work. It's that the only reason that you're ordering it is for the batter. That's deep fried.
Well, it's one of the reasons.
Yeah. So you're not going to do that, are you?
Sure. No, I'm not going to do that.
No. But with the burger, you could just not eat the bun, and then boom, that carb level that was lower anyway goes way lower.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe tomorrow I'll just get a salad.
You won't.
okay, man, from Burger King.
Yeah.
No, like the grocery store has these like really nice $7 salads that are like for an individual.
He told me about these
He
last
just-
time. He said it was the thing that he was going to do. The first thing he did when he got home
And I
from the
did.
trip was go to get one of these things. And he told me what was in it. He's like, yeah, it's really healthy. He told me the amount of fucking sauce that he puts on. It's like, why?
It's just a small little
why?
container. It's just a tiny one.
It was not a tiny container, Tim, when you showed it.
It's
to
just
me.
a little tiny container. It's a
not.
plastic little thing. Like the sort of thing that would come with your chicken wings.
Yeah, exactly.
A little plastic container, like not a huge amount.
And it wasn't a vinaigrette. It was like sauce. So basically, there's no point of eating the salad. You're just eating the sauce.
No, you get all the vegetables and all the good things that come from the vegetables, all the proteins. Like that doesn't vitiate
All the protein
the
that's in the
vitamins
vegetables?
that you get for all that. Not the protein, but like all the various nutrients that you get from the stuff.
Just get some. Go use code Mayo at AG1. Pound one of those back. You'll be fine for your greens. Like you're eating salad because you think it's healthy, and then you actively make it unhealthy.
Well,
there's no
I
point
understand what
of
you're saying
eating
with
it.
the dressing, but there really isn't that much dressing in those little things. There really isn't.
I don't feel like you're the best judge of this. You
Like,
just
it's
told
not
us-
like- it's
you
not
just-
like one
you
of those
just
little
told
packs.
us. You just told us that deep fried chicken tenders are healthy.
Well, no, I didn't say they were healthy. I said they were healthier than an alternative.
Which was wrong, by the way.
I don't know.
So maybe you're not the best judge of that.
I mean, I'm not an expert. I don't
But-
pretend to be.
But you really have your convictions about this, and then tell us about it as if you're right. So it sounds like you do have a lot of conviction on this.
Well, like if I didn't think I was right, I would do it.
But we keep telling you that you're not right, and then you keep doing it.
Well, it just seems like I can't have anything.
You can eat healthier. If you want to actually eat healthier, you can eat healthier. You can eat actually healthy, not look for different versions of bad eating.
Yeah, I guess that's right. That's fair.
Yeah. Deep fried, bad. Just think about that. Just use that as a general rule of thumb.
That's why my idea of the all air fryer
Oh my
restaurant
God.
would be great. I had this idea where it would be a restaurant where all the food that would be served would all be cooked in an air fryer. You name it, it's air fried. It would be fast. It would be
No,
fresh. It would
that-
be crispy. It would be healthy.
That's the thing,
Public
Jeff.
doesn't want to pay for that.
it
They'd
also
rather just
wouldn't
good
be-
fast food.
It wouldn't be fast either.
They'd rather like no. You're walking like a middle ground of shit. Like people just can do that at home.
Yeah.
People can make soup at home, but they don't. The restaurants all have soup
Restaurant soup quality is a lot different.
Yeah.
or a
come on.
salad, or people can cook a really good piece of steak on the grill. Like
No, well,
Okay, whatever, man.
you don't get
I
you don't
don't
get
think
bur-
your analogy breaks down.
No, it doesn't, because everything that you get at the restaurant, especially like if it's a soup, like if you make soup at home, you're either making canned soup, or if you make homemade soup, you're just making a ton of soup, which maybe that you don't want. You just want to have a nice French onion soup or something at a restaurant, and you want it to be restaurant quality. And knowing how you cook, it's not going to be that way anyway. So you're just going to live with whatever terrible version out of your Campbell's soup can they add some like salt to and some
I have
water.
some stag chili, which is the chili lovers love. That's what I have in my cabinet for a soup.
That's
It's like
that's chili. It's not a soup.
chili's a soup. Whatever. I don't care. Chili's a type
not
of
a
soup.
soup.
It's like a type of soup. It's not conventional, but it's a type of soup.
I'd say it's more of a stew than a soup if you were going to go down.
I
that
think
road.
stew is essentially a soup too.
It's not.
I think they're all soups.
They're not. They're not all soups. But anyway, with the air fryer, like if it was at a restaurant, you can cook stuff better in a better way than in an air fryer to begin with, especially if you go to a restaurant where they have industrial equipment. And if you cooked it in an air fryer, it would just take a lot longer than the places that you're talking about, which use a deep fryer. That's why they use the deep fryer, because it's so fucking fast.
But it would be healthier. And the speed would be fine.
No, it
compared
wouldn't
to
be
like
fine.
a regular sit-down restaurant.
No, it wouldn't. No, it absolutely would not. It would still take them just as long to cook this stuff. Like, how long do you think a piece of chicken cooked properly, not however the fuck you cook it, takes in an air fryer? 25 minutes?
No, it doesn't take anywhere near that.
Yeah, because you turn it up to the highest possible grade of temperature and try to do it as fast as possible. I guarantee you, it tastes like fucking shit.
My air fryer chicken breasts taste really good. I don't know why you're besmirching them. They're actually really tasty.
Jeff?
They're probably dry.
Yeah.
And I use my meat thermometer that I got to make sure that they're properly cooked. And yeah, I know what I'm doing, and they actually taste really good.
Okay, good for you.
Yeah, like I made a chicken parm the other night with it. It was delicious.
Would you
Yum,
want to?
yum.
Would you want to go to an air fryer restaurant, Jeff?
No, it's stupid. It's just
No, like it'd be great for apps. It'd be a healthier way to have all the apps that you love.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
Well, instead of them being deep fried, they're air fried. So like you can have the pepperoni
apps.
without apps, so like appetizer. You can have the pepperoni without all the guilt, or the chicken wings without all the guilt, or you
I
name
mean,
it.
you can make that same boring shit at home easily.
Yeah,
or your matzo sticks without the guilt.
I
can't make a bloomin' onion at home.
You can't, but like you can. Go ahead.
I made air fried chicken wings for myself on Sunday here. They
smelled delicious.
They weren't good for me, Tim. They were so bad for me.
Okay, but they're healthier for you than if they had been deep fried in oil.
Yes.
Right?
They are not as bad as deep fried chicken wings. That doesn't make them good.
No, it makes them healthier, but that doesn't necessarily make them healthy. I agree.
But you tend to think that if you eat something that you call healthier, aka not as detrimentally bad for you to give you heart disease quicker, that's something you should actively be going to eat.
No, I'm just saying that it's better than the alternative.
What's the no? That you seem to think that this is binary, that you either have those or those. You can just have not those if you actually want to eat healthy. You don't have to have chicken wings.
You're right. I agree.
And the reason
that air fryer would be great.
It wouldn't. It would take fucking forever, and you get lesser quality food.
Well, if you don't know how to use your air fryer, I guess.
Well, you seem to think that this would be like if I went to a real restaurant, like a sit-down restaurant where they make real meals. You think I want my food air fried? And do you think that they're deep frying the stuff?
Then don't go to the air fried restaurant. Then go somewhere else.
Well, this is just like your fucking non-alcoholic bar or whatever it was that you're like, which
is taking over.
Yeah, it's taking over, Jeff. Someone sent a thing to CUST, and then CUST just read a headline, and he's like, look, it's taking over. So I read the article, not taking over. It's basically a charity project by people who own these fucking things. They all admit they make no money whatsoever, and they're probably going to be out of business.
Yeah, sounds whatever. Hard pass.
Well, we have gone on at length about some cornery topics, so I won't detain us long. But it occurred to me the other day that I think gyms should have an hour set aside each day for people like myself who are out of shape only. We should be the only people allowed in the gym for that hour. I think that would encourage people to show up more often because that's their hour. I think that it would be a good environment. I think I would like to see gyms and health
what it is
and health
it's
clinics.
Like fat camp hour.
No. I did not say that. I think it would be nice if health clubs and gyms had an hour a day set aside just for people of size.
So if you had a body mass index,
this is it. It would have to be
a percentage. You're not allowed. You're banned.
That's right. You can't come for this hour. Between pick the time between like 5:30 and 6:30.
Well, you know what? That time doesn't work for me.
What if you are someone who's like in the middle range? Like he's got a bit of definition, but he's still like.
I think
This
you
is
have
one
to,
of your dumbest ideas. What
I
about-
guess you probably have to self-identify as a person of size for this to count.
Well, you know what? I'm going then too. I identify as a person of size because I want to go to the gym at that time.
I just think it would be to everybody's benefit if there were times set aside, even if it was like certain times during
know
the
what?
week. You know, it doesn't have to be every day. Maybe it could just be like for a 4-hour block every now and then, like for people, because you would feel less intimidated, you'd feel more encouraged.
It's
it
a
would be more
hard journey.
inviting.
It's a hard journey, and starting is difficult, and I should even attempt to start. But it's on me. It is not on the people in the gym who have put effort and look good and like
I'm not
care
blaming
about it. It
anybody.
is not their responsibility to coddle me and create some safe environment for me.
No,
to
but look,
fucking
there are
do
grocery
cardio.
stores. Like there are grocery stores where like it's like a seniors only hour. Like that's
No,
a thing that
it is.
exists.
No, they don't. They have seniors discounts on certain days, but they're never like you can't come in. You just don't qualify for the fucking discount.
Like if there's seniors days or students days, or you can get
When
discounts.
is?
in
Oh,
stores,
sorry. I
why
don't want to
can't
be rude. I don't want to be rude, but when is like Asian only hour at the gym then?
That is
Like,
not what I'm.
Yeah,
What I'm
it is.
No, what I'm saying is that the purpose of the gym is to make oneself more healthy. And the people who really would like to go, who are oversized, like myself, who would like to get healthier, would find it to be a tremendous encouragement if there were like an hour a day or a couple hours every week where I knew when I went into the gym, the only people that I would encounter were the people who are on the same step of the journey as me. And like the day that I graduated from being eligible for that hour, I would be a great moment.
I don't
This is
hate.
like
I actually don't hate this idea. I get where you're coming from with it. Just this isn't it, because
No,
there's no like static time that has to work for everyone in this group that you're talking about. And I think that the biggest hurdle that people need to get over, especially when it comes to the gym, is people at the gym don't care about other people. They only care about themselves.
yes, I would agree
Absolutely.
with that.
But it's the self-consciousness of the self.
You gotta
that
get
can be
over
like-
it.
But that's a part of the mental workout of going to the gym too, is getting
Yeah.
over that. Now,
Sorry,
if
I
it
get
gets you in the door, then I'm all for it. But there are like different classes, designs, and if you only did that, listen, if people were going to go do this and go to the gym, they would most likely be doing it anyway. A lot of people use I'm intimidated to go to the gym as the excuse to not go to the gym.
I agree.
And if you gave them this opening, they still wouldn't go anyway. They would just find some other excuse not to go. Well, the time doesn't really work out for me. I can't do that right now. But yeah, there's a mental part of going to the gym too. I went the other day and it was a terrible workout, but I ended up going for like an hour and a half and I was tired. I really didn't want to be there. And by the time I left, I felt good because that's part of the mental part of going to the gym. You go, you show up, you get into the routine. Now, if this helps people get in the door, I'm for a program for it, but the gyms don't want to close their doors to their active users to try to get in people who just aren't going to show up and have an empty gym.
This just has to be a class, like our specific classes, just like you'd have a beginner's fucking version of anything. In like for any sort of sport or activity. But I have great sympathy. Like I could see why going to the gym, not even in the equipment, like just in the locker room, can be an intimidating experience for someone trying to get started on the right path. This is just so. Like, why don't you just have a heavy person's only gym then? Only allowed.
I'm not opposed,
And
I'm not opposed to that either.
And then when you reach a level where you can't be part of the class or the gym anymore, you gotta like ring a bell, like, "Hey, later, losers, I'm gone."
Well, I don't know about that last part.
It just
that's fraught with problems for a number of reasons. But my preference would be that there would be designated times, and you could work it out in such a way. Particularly if you're a club that's open 24/7, you could find a way to encourage. I mean, because these are the people for whom your membership, these are the lifeblood of your business, are the people who want to get in shape, and this would be an incentivization to have more and more people sign up. I really think this would be. I think this would work.
what
I
if
think
you just went with one of your really fit friends? Who
No,
could be
and
like a
there's
safety blanket.
No, and I really think, and it's important to note this. I don't think it's people who are in good shape that are causing any problem or providing any actual intimidation. It's all between the ears of the person, by and large.
Yeah, but that's what
who's
being
running
fat
shit.
is. It's all between the ears, not knowing when to eat your like
It's-
it's all
so-
mental. Like
so
not
why
having the
not-
willpower to fucking not eat McDonald's or something fast food
So-
because
so
I want to reward myself.
Why not take off of the table of complications for those people?
Because someone
one of
has to
the
run a
issues?
business, and running a business and running a gym is probably so fucking expensive.
I
Based
suspect that there are.
overhead, and Pat said everyone's schedule is so different. You couldn't
If you
find
ran a
time.
gym, if you ran a gym in a city where there were, an hour every other day designated for people of size, I bet you not only would you have signups from people who are looking for the gym, you would have people using that hour.
And then
okay,
you lose customers
but you might,
who are like-
but you might lose
that
the
hour.
people who want
Yeah.
to go at that time. They'll just go somewhere else, and now you've lost the customer who comes in and pays every single month versus the person who signs up for a week and never shows up again.
Well, but the people who sign up for a week and never come back again, who are on like yearly memberships.
Oh,
again,
you're hoping
whether
that you can scam them into a recurring bill that they're too guilty to cancel
mean,
because they
make-
think
wait,
they're-
wait,
Which is honestly, that is a big part of gym economics. By the way.
of course.
That was my point. That's a huge part of it.
That's
And,
a big part of
maybe
any
maybe it can only be for members. You have to have a 1-year membership or a 2-year membership in order to be eligible for that.
Yeah, but
hour.
that create. I feel like that creates an even wider barrier of entry than people being too intimidated to show
This
up. They
can
don't want to
only be
pay for
done
a
with
year.
a class, Tim. Like with a class, or if
Well,
a
you could have
is
separate,
so
but
big,
you could have 3 or 4 classes going on during this time. Plus, I don't know. I just think it would be extremely encouraging and productive, and I think it should happen.
This is like a really fucked up. I'm not saying like your idea. It's like a lovely spirit, but it's just like the crossover from where we are to needing like fast pass McDonald's, or last week arguing with Pat about you making healthier choices by not going to McDonald's, but just doing the fast food circuit at everywhere else in town, to like, now I need like a fucking safe space, chubby time at the gym. Like that.
Don't
I
call
don't
it
know,
chubby
man.
time. Don't call it that. See, that's
I don't
exactly the
know.
type of language and the type of attitude that's causing the problem.
No, I have.
The heck
Oh.
with those people who would like to have a leg up on getting it. The heck with them. They should have to struggle. That's
No,
your
it's
position.
all struggle. You go to the gym even as a fat fuck. It just takes effort to get home without stopping at McDonald's. You know that.
You're right. I do.
So it's all mental. Like it's all about the fight between your ears. You
So why not make it a little easier for people?
know, because you have to be able to overcome the fight.
And you know what? And then those people will absolutely recommend it to their other friends who are in a similar situation.
And then
who
the
will
gym's going to
interested
be
in
out
trying
of fucking business.
No, quite the opposite. I think it'll have a very positive effect.
Paul, you wanted to chime in?
I was gonna just say like join like a martial arts gym where it's like they literally have periods of the day
No, I'm too terrified of
where only people who are at your skill level will train at the
What do you
same time.
mean? Yeah, you should train
'Cause
with
you
the
can't-
white belts, and then
Exactly. You can't have
That's-
a good kickboxer going against somebody who's learning how to throw a kick. Like that doesn't end well. So
Then why are you
they
afraid of a
separate people
class?
based on their ability.
Why did you say you're afraid of martial arts class?
I don't want to get hit.
I don't think they put you in there and you have to fight someone day one.
Dude,
I have no
jujitsu,
idea.
nobody hits you in jujitsu. It's just submissions. Do that.
What do you think? It's just hand-to-hand combat? What do you think's going on?
I don't know. I have no idea. I've never witnessed a karate class. I don't know what they do.
Like my 6-year-old son takes karate class.
They
I
punch
assume
air.
I assume they combat against each other in some way, shape, or form.
Like an instructor well, I guess for the kids they don't have to wear, but like once you do get to a level, you're just wearing like a padded thing and you just help people do drills. You have like
Yeah, it's
Come
not like I'm gonna stand there like this guy's gonna punch me in the face 3 times in a row.
what do you
No,
think?
look,
It's like
I
the
don't
instructor
think
from
it-
Napoleon Dynamite?
No, nor do I think it's Fight Club. I just, thought that, certainly when it comes to, be adults, if I were to take in a class in adults, that there would be some sort of
So, Tim,
combat element to it. And I don't want that.
this is no different than anything. Like Paul's suggesting the class at your level. It's no different than you learned to golf. You'd go to a beginner's class with people who are also not really sure how to get the ball in the air. You're not going to like a certain level chipping class. Like, so it's all relative. It's just beginner classes, and you go to beginner classes at the gym.
I think this is a good idea and a supplement to. There's no reason we couldn't have this going on in the background, plus what I'm looking for, which is the hour.
Well,
Give me the hour.
Here's the thing, though. Gyms have exactly what you're talking about. They have intro to exercise classes at each of the gyms. Like if you went to the Good Life by your house, you could find a sheet of all of the classes that they offer. There's beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And
I've taken some of these aqua classes, and I get mocked for it.
You take it with 80-year-olds.
Who cares? It's all about skill level.
I feel like there's a difference.
See? This is the reaction I get.
Yeah,
but see, look. So it's just mockery. So this is again. I wouldn't get mocked. I wouldn't get mocked at the hour where everyone was at the same skill level. And I didn't have people in there making fun. Thank you for helping prove my point, the both of you.
Why is a young man in like the prime age of his life at the same skill level as 80-year-old women in gentle aquafits?
Who's working the door at this gym and be like, sorry, pal. Like,
too skinny. You beat it.
You only have a love handle, not love handles.
No,
Beat
nobody.
it, pal.
But it's obviously done on the honor system. It's the only way these things work.
And you think someone who needs to like gym tan laundry is going to give a shit about the honor system? The thing about gym culture is like Pat said, they honestly don't even give a fuck about anyone else around them. They don't. Even if they do look good in a tank top.
I can attest to this. I go to the gym. I don't pay attention to unless someone is using something that I want to use, and I'm eyeing them until they get off of it. Not like death glaring them, but I'm just keeping my eye out and be like, hey, when are they going to be done?
When act like this?
Yeah, there's like the one or two like peacock dudes at the gym who are
But
very
this
clearly
hour's not about that. This hour's not about that.
I get that.
It's about trying to develop a community of people getting healthy.
Honest to God, if you go ask big steroid guy for the help, there's no one in the gym who will help you more than big steroid guy. All big steroid guy wants is for you to do steroids and look exactly like him.
Look, I agree with you completely. I just am saying it would be. I would like. This is my idea, my moment to discuss what I like. And what I think would be a good idea would be that gyms would have an hour set aside for people of size.
But they have those classes there for that already, and you can go to them right now, and they're separate from the rest of the people. But not the same thing. Why is it not the same thing? You want to be in a ghost gym? So basically, you just want to have a gym to yourself, is what you're saying.
Well, I actually don't think it would be a ghost gym. Is the thing.
Well,
I actually
Tim,
think it would be very successful.
A couple questions. Your building, does it have a gym?
Yes.
So it's probably empty most of the time.
Yeah, but it doesn't have all, like, I like to do a lot of aqua stuff.
Okay.
And so like I don't have that ability.
You like to do a lot of what stuff?
When you build your dream home.
Hold on. You like to do aqua stuff?
Yeah, like I like to swim. I like to do like the aqua workouts.
So you want to go to a pool? What does this have to do with a gym? What gyms around here?
I also
do you know, like especially where we're at?
For example, it doesn't have the pull-up machine I like here, for example.
Then do a pull-up.
I like that machine. The assisted pull-up machine. Well, again, there you go. People with that attitude wouldn't be around for the hour that I'm looking for.
You can build a great gym in your dream home.
You've seen my basement. I have a bar in my basement for pull-ups. You put that in your house.
You hurt yourself with it.
What's that? When did I hurt myself?
Didn't you hurt yourself trying to do pull-ups too aggressively? Like I know you did. You hurt yourself.
You could
that was Paul's buddy at my Christmas party.
Yeah,
he jumped on it and fell down.
Didn't sue.
Didn't sue me. They're very thankful. Thank you for that.
Tim, this is like food. Like all restaurants need a buffet like level. Come on.
Well, all restaurants should have a buffet.
No, buffets should have buffets.
At least all new ones.
Jared, you wanted to chime in?
Yeah, I have a secondary idea. So what if we took the overhead out? We had chubby hour at like the local park instead, and you just do body exercises, and then in the winter, you rent out a rec room and do the same thing. Less overhead, chubby hour. It doesn't ruin the gym for other people. I mean, tell me where I'm wrong.
Well, yeah, but sure, but the idea is that one eventually would progress past this needing this hour and could use the same facility, the same machines, the same exercises,
Tim,
knowing the same people, but no longer being eligible, if you might say,
these
or no
gym
longer
have
feeling necessary for that hour.
these gyms have crazy hours because they're trying to accommodate everybody. So you get in shape. Let's say you have a job, you work your
Well,
schedule.
accommodate me then. Accommodate
Okay,
what I
but
want.
let's say you have a job, you have a normal job, a standard job, and you're getting in shape and you're doing it at your restricted hour. And then the moment where you're too skinny to then participate in chubby hour, you need to like rejig your whole schedule.
What a great problem to have. What a great problem to have.
I understand that, but I'm just saying that the gyms exist. Fuck it. I'm done.
Basically, everything you've said is exactly what we've said. That we've given you a whole bunch of different options, and you've made an excuse not to do any of them.
No, I want what I want.
Yeah, you want it exactly how you want to do it, and if that was offered to you, and we did say, hey, you know what? This is Tim time. Only Tim can use the gym at this time. You still wouldn't go.
Yeah, no,
Tim,
I wouldn't.
Think
I would
about
take
the
advantage of it.
mad.
You would hold on. Wait, hold on, Jeff. What did you just say? Tim?
I totally would take advantage of that.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't take advantage.
Of
You
course-
have
of course I would.
you have the empty gym at your place right now, and don't use it.
I imagine in like hardcore gym culture, the dude who shows up to the gym, the fat, out of shape guy who actually ends up getting in great shape. Like, I imagine in gym culture, like, yes, most people aren't paying attention to you, but I imagine you get so much credit, like from the staff, from steroid guy regular, like everyone becomes like a fan of you. I would think, like, great job, Tim. You're doing great. And wouldn't that feel great from the muscle guys?
I mean, all credit is good like that, sure. But you get there in a process. And I just think this would be a very helpful building block that people would thrive with.
How about just stop drinking soda?
Well, these sodas don't have any calories. Next question.
All right,
Well?
let's go on to the rest of the games. Carolina,
Sure. Yeah, no, let's just make fun of people trying to get.
no one has made. We offered you like 5 different solutions to this thing, based on Paul. Yes,
Tim, I'll level with you. At the end of the day, as a fellow fat, we just make excuses. It doesn't matter. You can move the chains as much as you want.
This takes the excuses off the table.
I've never went to a gym and been like, oh, that person's body mass index makes me feel uncomfortable. It's just like, no, I get lazy and then don't go to the gym. That's 100%.
It's like going to the driving range. It's like going to the driving range and there's some dude there striping it, being like, oh my God, he hits his iron so good. I'm so intimidated to like chunk mine. Like, that's essentially what you're saying. But Jeff,
I think driving ranges should have time set based on handicap.
Christ.
100%. I think that this should be. Certain times should be set aside for people of lower handicap. Absolutely, 100%.
oh my God, people just go when they can. Like, oh, they got 2 hours off. I'm gonna go hit balls for 80 minutes. I don't know, man.
I think he's missing the entire point. No. There's like people who are actually good at this. Maybe go during the time that they're there and like
see what
pick their brain, take pointers off of them, watch what they're doing, and learn their exercise. Rather than a whole bunch of people who are clueless at the gym. You may not learn anything.
Yeah, I picked up a great shoulder shrug move from a guy the other day. He was using the machine for curls, and he's like, "Hey, if you just put it down all the other way and you stand back, it actually works as a perfect like shoulder shrug and working at your traps instead, and it doesn't put a lot of pressure on your joints." I was like, "This is great. Now I do it every time I go in." Dude, steroid dude was super helpful on it. He knew all the tricks. Now I've passed it on to you. Now you can use it too.
Tim, what if you were an athlete and like someone asked you to pee in a cup and they had to stand right beside you? Would you be able to pee in that cup? Because you certainly like doesn't seem like you can work out beside dudes with muscles.
Absolutely not. I would feel too embarrassed. I could not do that. Well, I couldn't.
Just a lot of I couldn'ts here. We need to change your I couldn'ts into I cans, and then we're off to the races. Maybe you need
I
a
don't know.
maybe
I get criticized on this show all the time for all the things I say I can do. So do you really want more I cans? Because I have all kinds of I cans. I get mocked for those vociferously.
But you don't have an I can because you never do any of the stuff. It's all theoretical in your world. All these theoretical things that you can do, and then we ask you, hey, why don't you do it? And I don't want to.
I don't want to.
I mean, the only thing you have are a bunch of excuses. That's it. So no matter what changes, you need to be the change you want to see.
Okay.
So
here I am producing ideas of change, being told it's a bad idea. Okay. Well.
Then go talk to the gym and get it done then. I'm not the one who owns the gym. You don't need to convince me.
No. I couldn't have a gym hour when I wanted. I couldn't have a dream home the way I wanted. I couldn't have an indoor underground golf course the way I wanted.
Yeah, and you don't get a football team the way you want it either, because some of your asks are delusional.
Clearly. Everything I want is delusional, Jeff.
Some of your, some of it, you're reaching on some issues. That's all. You've got to have better inline expectations.
Just sounds like you should hire a trainer. That's the move of all of this. You have a guy who is there, who's in shape to help you work through it in a private setting. It's perfect.
Yeah, and he gives you the confidence.
Why don't you want to do that? Because you don't want to pay for it? Just like the candy bars?
You just took the words out of my mouth. I don't want to pay for it.
So you don't want to fucking do anything. You just want to sit here and fucking complain.
Yeah, it took this whole conversation. That's always the answer. You have a trainer, you have an in-shape ally surrounding, that keeps you safe from these scary in-shape people you're afraid of.
And gives you a routine and a diet and make sure that you're doing everything right and keeps you on track. It's their job.
I'd like to have a trainer where if you were with the trainer, you could use any machine you wanted, no matter who was on it. I'm cutting in and taking over your machine now.
Some gyms, maybe they do have trainer preferences, like a Disney,
it should be a fast pass.
I mean, they have personal training. They have personal training sections.
No, but I don't want
of gyms that no one can use unless you have a personal trainer.
My personal training section should be everywhere in the gym that I want, whenever we want to do it. Oh, there's a line of people waiting to do the shoulder press. Too bad. My personal trainer means I get to do shoulder press now.
Have you really had that?
And no, you can't cut in during my sets either.
Have you had a big problem not getting machines you want to use and people cutting in on you using them? Has it ever happened to you?
It actually has, and it's very annoying. When I was at Usually to Be a Good Life, that would happen.
I mean, I go there.
Your entire life requires a fast pass, but you don't really have. I don't want to say.
I'd like to have fast passes to a lot of things.
But your concept that you're always busy or in a rush, I feel is so grossly exaggerated. And I don't mean to sound like JD Vance or something, but what there's real, I don't even know how to verbalize it, but how busy can you be compared to the moms and dads running around?
Everybody has their own levels of busyness.
That's fair.
Everyone's got 24 hours in the day.
You're right. You've got
responsibilities. My day isn't any longer or shorter. Yeah.
That was unfair to me. That was
everyone's
wrong.
day is as long or short as anybody else's.
No, but I can't speak. That's unfair because I can't speak. You might have ththings I'm just totally unaware of. That's not fair of me to say.
But look, I take zero offense to it. It's just that, look, I have things I want to do, and I just want to be able. I really want to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
Just stay at home and do nothing,
which is also great.
But doesn't help you in this regard at all.
No, it doesn't. What would help me is having an hour a day that was dedicated to me and me alone.
Well, you know what? You're going to have to rent out a gym. That's your answer to this.
I don't want to do that.
Well, listen, I'm giving. So does that mean that I get to do it too? Everyone who has a membership can do it too. Why do you get to do it, but I don't? And you don't even want to fucking pay for it. I would.
I described to you why I want it, because people in my position need the leg up.
Then build your own goddamn gym and do it.
Need the extra motivation.
Then hire a trainer. Build your own gym. We've given you all these solutions.
to.
You don't want to do any of this. You want someone.
Hold
You
on.
want someone for free to drive to your house and say, "Hey, Timmy, it's time to get up and get in the car. We're going to work out. Don't worry, no one's there. Here's what do you want to do with the gym? We've seen the proven results of that. What machines do you want to use? Go use them all. Here's how you use them. That's what you want.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Like that.
This sounds
That's
great.
essentially what you've just described.
Doesn't that sound awesome?
Yeah, yes, it does. You want it for free and at the expense of everyone else.
Well, I didn't say for free. Obviously, I would want the.
How much would you be willing for that hour? How much would you be
No
willing?
more
to
than
pay for
any
that?
other member. The regular membership, but you have to get a year's membership. You don't get a day pass to it. You got to like sign up for a year's worth of membership.
So why would your membership then be more valuable than my membership if I'm
I
paying the same
just
price?
described why, because they have an incentive of wanting to help people in a position who need the leg up to start.
This would
That's
cost
why.
that.
You're not the only fat person.
Yeah.
No, of course, any person in this circumstance would go there.
So if you're over a certain body weight or body fat index, or on the body fat index, they have to hire someone special to come and like guide you through everything. So you get to have a personal trainer
Some
without
pointers
paying
and
for one.
advice.
What if
Yeah, but it's like having a caddy for four.
These people
on
sound
the
like
golf
such a
course.
drain on society.
I see.
If you do sign up to a new membership at the gym that I go to, they give you 4 free lessons with a personal trainer to guide you through and show you how to do things.
Yeah.
Did you take advantage of that when you signed up?
No,
All right.
I didn't.
What if someone
didn't.
who's fatter than you is on the machine that you want?
Well, that's fine.
Do you go
That's
go
fine.
to body mass index for like the fattest guy gets?
No.
Because he
No,
needs
no.
it more
Once
than
you-
you, really. He's fatter.
During the hour, like it's just normal gym rules. Just during that hour, it's just for certain people who need the extra help and the encouragement, and encouragement that some people here certainly are not all interested in providing.
We gave you
Get
all
some
the
Richard
different
Simmons
options.
Jeff.
videos.
Yeah, get some Billy Blanks in your life. Do some Tybo. Let's get moving. That's the move. I don't see why you need to have an assisted. Like, what are assisted pull-ups doing for you anyway?
They work all kinds of the muscles that pull-ups do.
I get
they
that.
allow you to do it.
Listen, you're not becoming a sculpted bodybuilder here like overnight. Like just moving.
I agree.
Go into these beginner classes at the gym doing some Zumba or something is probably the move.
I go to these beginner classes, and I'm a laughing stock.
You go to old people
because
classes.
Myrtle and I are in the same class. That's how it invalidates my experience.
Who is the second youngest person in these classes that you go to?
There are younger people in there too, like people in their 60s who are not like technical seniors.
You're in your 30s. There's a
And?
3-decade gap between you and the next youngest person.
And
I'm saying that there are things more catered to what you need at the gym already of people at an equal starting level of you, and they have classes for that. You just want to go work out with old people. Like, what, dummy them and doing the exercises? Because they're going to have, like,
No.
be dead soon?
no,
Oh, all right. Let's get on with the games.
the Jets.
That's going to be a...
It's New York. It's the head coach job.
no one wants
He
to fucking
turned
coach
down
the Jets, man.
Washington.
Yeah, but it's the Jets.
You think anyone wants to coach the Jets, especially after Rodgers leaves and they have no one?
Well, we'll see. I think that there would be no shortage of people lining up for that.
You might get your wish. And they might get Jim Caldwell. Maybe Marvin Lewis is available.
I would take either of those two coaches. They're serious people.
Marvin
I
Lewis is
agree.
not a
There'll be
serious
no.
person.
But
There
he
will be-
hires good coordinators.
Yeah,
and
you
he
might
did
get Tony.
historically.
Pull like the Washington did when they brought the corpse of Joe Gibbs back. Get Tony Dungy to be your coach.
I thought you were going to say bring back Rex Ryan, because I could live with that.
You know what? If they're going to be bad, give them Rex Ryan. That would actually be a lot of fun.
Rex was the best coach we ever had in my lifetime. I mean, outside of Parcells, I suppose.
Tim, you
Bring him back.
realize there will be no shortage of people who want the head coaching job, but of the high-end quality candidates, your organization, your owner is carrying such a stink. People with options might be like,
He's going to have to do what Jerry did when he hired Bill Parcells. He's going to have to agree to a truce.
Yeah, but no one wants to work for fucking Nepo baby Woody Johnson. Like, you know,
Oh, I
at
don't
least
know
Jerry
about
made his own money.
I mean, that's only true if people go around saying that that's true.
I mean,
I don't know that anybody has said, "Oh, I won't work for Woody Johnson because of the way in which he inherited wealth."
well,
Like,
he's not a serious
care.
person. Like he makes irrational decisions because like someone was like, "Hey, here, have billions of dollars." Like, what does he know? Nothing.
I don't know.
I mean, what
I
has?
wish I had billions of dollars.
Listen, I wish
Apparently,
I
according
would-
to this show,
I would-
it would solve all my problems, wouldn't it?
I wish someone would have given me billions of dollars as well, but they didn't.
Because if I had billions of dollars, I would build that golf course, and I would build that dream home. And then I have everything I'd want.
if you had billions of dollars, but it was only $2 billion, and you built that golf course, you'd have $0 billion left.
Then in a year's time, I'd have a ton of money just from the revenue.
What revenue? You still haven't.
From
You
the
said
golf course.
you said that you were going to give out free memberships to people who helped you build it.
Yeah, but it's open 24/7, 365. So there's only so many free memberships you're giving out.
Yeah, but you still have to keep up the upkeep of the golf course. You still have to pay for that.
That's fine. It pays for itself in volume.
Yeah, but buddy, you're gonna feel the loss when you've got only fat people can golf hour.
Don't worry, CUST will have conveyor belts put in like they have at the airport, so you don't have to walk to the holes.
I also thought about it. One of the other things that we could do with the indoor golf course is that I could host big PGA or live events at my indoor facility. And I could do it at a time of year that you can't host them in this area any other. Like I could have a big, massive January event. And people would come, and there'd be lots of money, and people would go to the event.
Well,
then
hold on. As my
trophy
dealing with
to a
Liv,
winner.
I've dealt with Liv, and the reason that they go to these golf courses is because why, Tim?
Well, it's different.
The golf courses pay them to be there. That's why they go to those golf courses.
Like
So there's
the
even more
fans
money
that
out of your
show up,
pocket.
and the merch tent that I'd have.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Hold on. So where are you going to put the fans? How much bigger do you need to build this facility to facilitate the fans to be there as well?
no, nowhere. No bigger. The fans just fit on the property.
So our initial estimation of how large this facility was going to have to be is actually like double what we thought it was going to be.
No, it's exactly the same size. No different.
Well, I assumed it was
Last
just,
you spoke about it, every hole was its own building.
Well, maybe every hole, or maybe like every couple of holes, are combined into their own building. That's fine too. That'd be cool.
you know
Instead of
what?
having grandstands at every
This
hole,
sounds
just
like
build
an
the whole hole.
idea of someone whose grandfather made like $50 billion and gave it to them.
I wish I was in that situation.
Tim, you need a Saudi prince or something. The ones that email you and you send them $500. You're so gullible. Ask him.
Yeah. I'm
No,
just saying.
Tim
I
would
would
never-
have a big
Tim would-
golf
Tim-
event there. And
Tim wants to send them the money, Jeff, but he doesn't know how to do it online. So he's very insulated that way. It's very smart.
it would work, and like people would go to this event, and like you could have it at like in the middle of the night too. You could have prime time golf on, because you could play it at night, because my course is underground and fully lit.
Underground. I forgot that was underground.
Well, it could be, or it could be above ground. Either way, it's got full lighting, and you could have it during the day, and the people would go, or during the night, and people would go, and it would have great ratings, and people would go, and then you make all that money back in like 3 years just by having the
And
event.
you could have so many ancillary things like a bingo hall and like the best little snack bars all over the place.
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you want to have stuff like that?
That's what I mean.
Yeah. I don't understand what the problem is.
This idea.
None.
So bad.
None.
No, you're just upset you didn't come up with it. That's what it is.
I mean, it almost feels like you're doing a Brewster's Millions type thing here. Where you,
Brewster's Billions?
Yeah, Brewster CUST Billions, where he's given $1 billion and has to have nothing to show for it by the end of 30 days.
I like that he also can have one of the dumbest ideas ever. You mock it, and then he claims you're just jealous you didn't think of it first.
I mean,
Maybe that's what's going on here.
Baltimore.
Did you see the MRE we had this week, Jeff? It was so good.
It's all disgusting.
It was so good. This teriyaki rice with like fresh veggies in it. It was so good.
You are such a character, my man.
No, I'm serious. Like you went on and on about how it's just like solid orange like paste. that has nutrients in it. It's like, no,
What?
that's
Yeah.
not what these things are.
Yeah,
It
what's
was-
Jared say about it? He's got to prepare it.
Yeah, well, Jared
rice.
actually had the other bowl of it, and Jared liked the first one. So Jared, give your reviews on the MRE so far that you've had to
Look,
eat along
soup
with
is
Gus.
whatever. Soup is powder. Like even you eat soup today that is still a powder. Maybe I don't know. The actual food, solid food.
Well, for those who subscribe to the newsletter, you've seen the video, and every single one has been exactly like that. It just turns into this thick, like paste. And Tim said that it wasn't salty, the teriyaki rice. I'm here to tell you that's a
No.
lie. That's not true.
It
It's
wasn't
very salty.
the other two were far saltier than this one.
Yes.
That doesn't mean it's not
Doesn't cha-
salty.
Yes, exactly.
I didn't notice it personally.
That kind of maybe should speak to your diet just a little bit, I think, if you didn't find that salty.
No.
Tim, they wouldn't even serve this stuff in soup kitchens.
Oh, stop it!
I mean
Good
that.
stuff. It's good
It's
stuff.
I mean it. I mean it.
You know what I don't understand? I don't understand smash burgers. I don't understand why
Love
people
them.
want these
Love
things.
them.
Like, why would I want my hamburger flattened out to like,
Love it.
it's like a McDonald's hot cake and then quote unquote crispy on the outside? I don't want a crispy hamburger.
Do you-
I want a thick, juicy hamburger that's cooked.
What gets
really
crispy?
nicely.
Like the edges.
The
The
edges.
burger's not
I
crispy.
don't want that. Well, the edges of the burger meat is crispy. I don't want that. Why do I want my hamburger flattened down so that there's like no substance to it on the bun?
Oh, like a double
Who-
patty smash is
Why does
way
anybody-
better
why
than
are-
like the thicker,
See,
like
look,
one.
see, everyone's all obsessed these days about the smash burger this and the smash burger that, but I don't want that. I want a real burger.
Well,
Yep.
I don't mind normal, but a lot of these places make these burgers that are just like way too. I prefer the smash.
Oh, please. That's
Yeah.
delusional.
Cuss,
Who would want
Absolutely.
it? That's
Cuss
delusional.
loves them thick. You know him.
I want a real hamburger that you can bite into and like it isn't just like rolled out like a crepe.
No, I don't mind.
Is that
Like, I can
we
go above
hold on?
this-
Are we calling them a crepe or a crepe?
No, that's what I'm talking about. Like those flat pancakes. That's what these smash burgers.
Oh, come
Everybody
on.
wants smash burger this, smash burger that. Well, I don't understand why people. Why do people want these?
Where is this coming from? By
I
the
just
way?
don't understand.
Yeah, but
why
what
everyone everyone seems obsessed with these days with the smash burgers, and I just want regular burgers.
Okay, I have to inquire. Where did you hear about this first? Which one person told you this that you've now
No,
determined
I've
that
seen them around.
Where?
I've
Where
seen
though?
them, like,
Where?
a lot of
I'm
like, a lot
asking
of
you
burger
where.
places they're doing, and I see this on cooking shows all the time. There's all these people doing smash burgers, and I
Yeah,
don't
they're so
get
much better.
how can it be better to flatten out your ground beef to the point that it's just like so thin that it has no substance to it?
Well,
and then
it's not
crispy
that
and burnt.
thin. You have no depth perception of how thin it actually. Like it's thin, but it's not a crepe. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
The outsides are like super thin and crispy because they're so
the
thin.
very edge of it, sure, gets a little crisped on the grill, but
Well,
other
I
than
don't.
that, it's
You know
perfect.
what? I want it like my quarter pounder, which isn't like that at all.
Then why don't you just go order a quarter pounder? Oh, I forgot
but I don't understand why
because
people
you
wouldn't
can't go
want
to
to.
McDonald's.
Well, no, I can't go to McDonald's. I have a problem, and so I can't go there.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be.
I have
Maybe
to
maybe
buy
you
a
should be
quarter-
eating a smash burger instead of a quarter pounder. Then this is
No, I
your
don't
new
want
reality.
that,
This is your new reality. You can't have the things you
eaten
want.
one? Have you eaten one?
No,
Well, then how do you
Fuck off.
fucking know?
because I see them all over the place. And I'm like, why
So
do I
eat
want to have-
one. Try one and then tell us how good it was.
Oh,
So this
no,
is
I
from the
think I
same
actually-
guy
I
that
actually-
hold
no,
on.
wait,
Th-
hold on. I actually have had one. I take that back. I actually have had one.
and it
and-
wasn't bad.
And I remember thinking at the time, like, this doesn't make any sense.
You remember
the-
so get a double.
You're the same guy that just gave the MRE a 9.5 out of 10. Yet you don't like smash
I don't
burgers?
I don't believe I scored that MRE.
Paul?
To be fair,
Paul?
I've been around long enough to know that this seems like a ploy for Tim to get us to,
buy
buy
him
him a smash burger, and I'm not taking the bait
no,
this year.
I don't want that.
This is
I
what he
don't
does
want
with
one of those.
everything.
I
Oh,
would be,
this thing's horrible. Oh, air fryers.
I
Who
would-
would ever use those? Oh my God! Thanks for buying me one, guys. This is the best
I would
thing
be
ever.
I would be very disappointed if I was given a smash burger instead of a
Do you
real
like
burger.
thin crust pizza?
I don't mind it. Yeah, I don't mind thin crust pizza, but I don't think that's the same thing at all. I see where you're going. I don't mind it. It's fine.
But I think if you tried a smash burger, you'd be like, "Oh, that's pretty good." I guess I might prefer the other kind, but I could see why people like it. Like,
why wouldn't I want a real hamburger if I'm going to have a burger?
The fact that a quarter pounder from McDonald's to you is what you consider
that's like the platonic
hamburger.
form. That's like the perfect form of a hamburger. It's like a
smash burger isn't much fucking thinner than a
it's a lot
fucking
thinner.
McDonald's.
It's actually not.
Burger.
It depends on where you get it, because most places where you can get it around here, like they're actually way thicker than a quarter pounder.
Yeah, like a quarter. I'm sorry, Tim. Like if your comparative is the quarter pounder, then you're just like in La La Land.
Well, no, I mean, like you talk about a Five Guys burger. I'd rather have one of those than a smashed burger.
That's almost a smash burger.
No, it's not. It's not so thin you can almost see through.
I guarantee you they smash on that grill. I guarantee you they
not the way. No, not the way that these people like take meatballs or whatever and then like smash them down with that thing on the grill to make them so thin you can almost see through them. That's no different
than the dude who just hats it thinner or something before it goes on the grill at a restaurant.
The same thing. I don't understand why you're carrying water for smash burgers when you know they can't possibly be better than a real hamburger. And you know why? Because people would actually be choosing those all the time, and they're not.
Well, they seem to be. The whole point of this is you seem to be upset that people are choosing them more often.
Well, I don't understand why anybody would.
Well, you just said you didn't know why people wouldn't do it, and then people are doing it.
I don't understand it.
Well, maybe you're a moron.
Did people all lost their minds?
Your point of reference to what a hamburger should be is also ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Like probably the most purchased hamburger in the world, day after day.
The most mass-produced hamburger.
Like,
Pat,
it's like the most ideal form of one.
When he was first talking about his ideal form, I thought he was referring to those like homemade hamburgers that are like really thick. Not a quarter pounder from McDonald's.
You know what the weird thing is? I don't like a thick patty on a burger. I want a thin patty. And I'd rather have like 3 tiers so I can put things in between them at the same time. They don't need to be smashed, but I don't like the super thick ones because I find, I do like the medium rare, but I do find that you can leave it a bit, if you don't want to overcook the outside, that they do get a little bit too rare on the inside for that type of meat that, you make them a little bit thinner, they cook more evenly.
Love a smash. It's the optimal way these days.
The optimal way. Yeah. You've gone now complete heel turn on this to where like the only hamburger you'll deign to eat is a smash burger. This is
not at all. Not at all.
Does Jeff look like he's picky with what he wants to eat?
Well, I would say he's being disrespectful of the hat.
You won't even go to McDonald's to order the burger that you like the most, and all you want to do is complain about other burgers.
I would also like
the contest is over.
For any fact checkers out there, I'd just like to clarify: I don't work at McDonald's. I don't flip the fries. I just went to a NASCAR race.
And you also, it's not that you work there; it's just that you go there and cook the food when it's closed.
Yes,
which is my.
It's called a campaign.
I know. Honestly, it's probably the greatest thing he's done in ages for like good support
since getting shot.
Yeah, I guess since getting shot, but even more so
because it's a normal campaign thing that people used to do all the time.
I completely agree, which is why I find it so fascinating that there's people like legitimately triggered. They're like, "Did you know it wasn't even really open?" It's like, yeah, no shit, it wasn't open. Like, what the fuck are people talking about?
And equally, like, obviously, it didn't live for 3 or 4 days. This McDonald's picture might live for this McDonald's story is already on day 3, which is crazy. And you could blame certain people for it. They're all insane. No different than when Kamala went into a gas station and bought Doritos. The other side freaks out about how staged it is. Like, who gives?
It's all staged. Like the thing I don't understand is one side can't call the other side a bunch of morons and then be just like triggered out of their mind for 3 days about this. You need to have a little bit of self-reflection on some of this stuff and be like,
these things have to be staged. There's security concerns.
Anyone who's reasonable knows that.
Like, yeah, I couldn't. Then people are like, oh, but this McDonald's had issues with like, I can't remember what it was like. It's like, what is wrong with you people? Have you all taken leave of your senses? Like, what's going on here? Now, of course it's closed.
Now, what
Jeff,
if Trump? What if
one of the tweets I sent out, or I retweeted, where it's like, "Oh, really? I didn't realize that Donald was." What did the person say? "Oh, really? I thought Donald was saving up his vacation and sick days for McDonald's to run for president. Sorry, I didn't realize."
Now,
like, come on, man.
I heard he was making smash burgers at McDonald's, and they had to retrain him on how to do that because he loves smash burgers so much.
McDonald's are smash burgers, and Tim, I'll leave it at this. I am the authority here because I'm the
really?
meat taster. Yeah, because I don't put the toppings on. I just like the meat. So and you can clip that and use that against me any way you want. But direct to the meat, smash burger, double smash burger, cheese, nothing tops it these days.
I still like my jalapeno play, putting the jalapenos on first and then melting the cheese on top of it to create a shell so they don't move. It's the move.
I like that too.
That's a smart idea. That's actually a really smart idea.
There you go.
You can do it with banana peppers too, if you prefer those, which I kind of do prefer them to jalapenos, to be perfectly honest with you.
Sure, absolutely. Any topping you really want. It's just if it's hard.
Well,
to
not any topping. Like if you like tomato, you wouldn't want a piece of cheese to melt over top of the tomato. I don't think.
Why not? It depends on
because you like the whole point of having a tomato on a burger.
You don't like tomatoes. You are not an authority on tomatoes.
I don't. But the purpose of them or a piece of lettuce is that you want something cool and cold to counterbalance the hot richness of the burger. That's why you have cold vegetables on a hamburger, right? Yeah. So if you melt cheese over top of the tomato, it becomes hot, and I think it kind of defeats the purpose of having that tomato on the burger.
Lettuce is just there for crunch for people.
Crunch and like the cold it's
there
texture.
For crunch.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's there for crunch.
Well, I mean, it is a part of it is texture.
That's the part.
But another part is also temperature.
It's there for the crunch. That's why people like lettuce on things.
It's one of the reasons.
No, it's one of the reasons. It is the reason.
Okay, well, you keep saying that, but you have no evidence for that.
I mean, you were trying to tell me about tomatoes for a guy who's scared of tomatoes.
I'm not scared. Hey, look, but there's one person on this show who ate every single tomato he was served at the restaurant in Montreal. Another person who wouldn't try them. So don't criticize me about tomato eating.
You just said you're the only person on. I believe I was there. I believe Paul was there. I believe Jared was there. I think they ate their tomatoes.
I actually don't know what you folks ate. I was not focused on.
Old main character CUST, not paying attention. The rest of us are just NPCs, aren't we?
I did not say that you were NPCs. I'm sorry, I derailed this conversation, but I was thinking about it today again. It's like I saw smash burgers, and I was like, why would anybody want a smash burger? Like, I'm sure the flavor is fine. And then the one time I had it, I remember it being okay, but being disappointed that I wasn't getting the full bite that I should be getting with a regular cheeseburger. And I don't understand it. I'm sorry.
I just don't understand where you're getting these smash burgers where you think that they're thinner than patties at McDonald's.
I mean, they are super thin.
They aren't.
Crispy on the outside.
Where did you get them at? Let's run through this. When you had your smash burger, where'd you have it at?
Oh, I mean, I'm not remember. I don't.
I don't remember.
I do know.
No, because you never fucking had it. Say the name of the place, because it doesn't exist.
Commercial?
I will tell you where. Once the show's over,
tell us right now. Tell us where, because no one's going to believe you.
I'm not going to.
You need to come up with time. Why won't you say it?
No, I'm not going to say it.
Why?
I'm just going to say that I had one. And
you don't want to promote the place? I
don't like to talk about.
What's the difference? Just tell us. It's between friends.
I'm not going.
People know we live in the Halifax area.
Oh, great. They
probably
want to go to this place now because they heard Tim hates their burgers.
No, it wasn't a bad burger. I just thought it would be better if it wasn't a smash burger.
So, but then what happened in the last week? We were like, oh my God.
I've seen advertisements and
everywhere.
I watch cooking shows and I see advertisements on TV and stuff. And it's just like, it's one of these things that I had in my phone for a while to talk about on the show. And for whatever reason, it just occurred to me today we had to talk about it.
I'm wrapping. This is probably from YouTube shorts, videos. And he watched a couple, and now his algo is sending him smash burgers.
TikTok.
Yeah.
And that's all this is.
Tim, you really are like a Gen Z person. Just your entire take on the world is filtered through your TikTok algorithm.
Well, I mean, those algorithms are really accurate is the thing. Like it knows what you want to rage about.
There's something I
does.
wanted to watch on YouTube. I wanted to find it, but I didn't want to even search for it. And I'd rather not watch it than search for it, because then I worried that shit would just stay in my algo. So I'm just like, you know what? I'll take the loss.
Yeah,
Not letting the algo get me.
It's like my friend who sends all of us these reels on Instagram that we know we can't click on, because the moment we click on it, we're going to see a whole bunch just like it. And you don't want that in your algorithm. You just don't.
You don't. You really don't.
You really don't want that stuff. And then you can't get away from it.
Yeah, and then it ends up in the For You section, which is just like, there is not a more there's not a worse place on earth.
Oh, it's I'm really curious of who the you is in that situation in the For You tab, because none of it's ever for me. I can tell the moment I read one of the things, like, who the fuck am I following here? Like, oh yeah, of course I'm in the For You tab somehow. You got to swipe off of that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I get in there, you realize it's an accident, and you just hope you realize quickly.
What's the Rumble For You section like?
Okay, I would like to say I'm actually really not even on Rumble anymore. YouTube and their copyrights have gotten pretty lax, or these like Chinese, like these bots have gotten so much better at evading copyrights that even we were in Montreal, I was showing Tim a lot of my favorite YouTube feeds for classic Stern stuff.
Yes, you were.
So they've been back and operational. But that's okay. You people want to give me this Rumble label. That's fine. When's that home run derby? Did that happen?
I thought you were hosting it.
Oh my goodness. This is unbelievable. So BBC News just reported that McDonald's hamburgers linked to E. coli outbreak in the United States. I'm just seeing this now from the BBC. It says, and it was the quarter pounder sandwiches that were making people sick. Oh my goodness. Now, obviously, these all things happened in the past. Of course, it didn't take long for Kenny Kim to also notice that this is happening. I mean, that's okay, but look, this already happened, so whatever. But that's unbelievable that would happen. It's unbelievable.
It's okay. People will blame Trump, not you.
Oh, I'm sure that they will.
What do you think is better? Do you think it's a smash burger or an E. coli burger?
Well, I guess the smash burgers would be so thoroughly cooked through and crispy that there'd be no risk of.
What if this changes McDonald's practices to cooking their burgers more to smash them up? Because they don't want to have E. coli. Tim, pro E. coli is what I've heard.
No.
That's what I've taken away from this entire conversation.
This is wild. This is wild.
Weird, wild stuff.
I'm sorry. This is my fault. I don't know why I took us down this cul-de-sac. I apologize.
Well, according to my show notes here, we've been talking about this for almost 30 minutes.
That's I take some responsibility for that.
Some?
Yeah, I do take some.
You've
taken
poor time away from Baltimore and Cleveland, which I've tried to move on to 4 times.
Well, look,
this is probably a better topic. And then you gave everyone E. coli.
No, I didn't.
You did.
But I didn't expect
fault.
Jeff to be the champion of smash burgers.
The white knight of smash burgers.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. There is like a hamburger war that has taken place in Toronto over the last few years, and I love it. Like, I mean, these hamburger shops open, these people make great hamburgers, and then these other hamburger spots open, and like, well, that's better than the last one. So, and smash burgers, delicious. So I'm pro smash burger.
So when your vote comes for the Custy Award, just remember which candidate is pro smash burger and which candidate is pro E. coli. And then you make your choice.
The moderators are rigged in this whole race. They're against me.
Well,
I want you to release the whole tape.
I'm sorry. I did break the rule of no fact checking, but I just had to in that situation.
Yeah, we promised you would not fact check me.
Mayo experience. Experience.